Okay, so in a previous screencast, I showed you how to create or upload a Google Doc. In this screencast, I'll show you how to share the Google Doc, which actually transfers over to Google Sites, Google Forms, the whole idea behind sharing, which is probably one of the most powerful aspects of Google Docs. So on this screen, you can see I'm actually in my Google Docs, but just as a quick review, one of the easiest ways to get there, if I'm in my email, which we check all the time, upper left-hand corner documents, that's one way to get there. And it's going to bring me to this page, okay, my Google Docs. You can see all these documents that I have here. The top two I created in the last screencast, the test for screencast, as well as this modeling document from a Word doc that I want to share with somebody. So I'm going to use these two things here. Before I get to that, I'm going to pull up another Google document here, the Rigor and Relevance Framework Best and Next Practices, that's being used to collaborate for the retreat presentation, and I already have it open here. Now I'm in here, you can see all the different colors that the collaborators chose to use. On the right hand side, you can see different comments that have been made throughout, so you can insert comments. In the extreme upper right hand corner, you can see that myself and someone else is viewing. If I click on this, it shows that at the same time S.A. Collins or Sally Collins is also looking at this particular document. I could, at this point, because she's there, I could actually engage in a conversation with her back and forth. Or if she was actively typing in this document, I would see her words and her cursor go across the screen very slowly. Kind of eerie the first time you see it, but you could be collaborating at the same time, more than 2, 3, 4 people doing it. It's kind of interesting. It works fairly well sometimes. So this is an example of a document that's been shared, and you can tell it's got people's fingerprints all over it. Makes sense to us, I would imagine, but at first glance to somebody else, it might look a little noisy. Okay, so how do we share these? So I'm going to go back to my Google Docs list here. So the test for the screencast. You'll notice when I scroll over it on the right here, it brings up this actions. If I click on that, I can open it up. There's one way I can share it. If I click on share, right there, it brings up the share page. And right now it says, I just created this yesterday. It says I'm the only one that has access to it. At the very top, it also says private. Only the people listed below can access. Essentially, when you create a Google document, you're creating a document that's saved on the cloud and has its own unique URL, www. They're pretty ugly URLs, but the fact that they have their own URL is why they can be shared. If I explore here and I click on change, here's some options I have. I can make it public to anyone on the web. I can make it public to anyone who has the link, or because this is one that we have, these next two are for us because we are DCSD within Google. We have these two possibilities. If you try to do this with your normal Gmail account, you won't have those. So if I were to make it public to anyone on the web or anyone with the link, for instance, and at the bottom it says, well, okay, do you want not only for them to see it, but should they be able to edit it? I'll leave that blank for now. And if I hit save, you'll notice it brings up right here, https Google or docs.google.com. That's the actual URL for this particular document. I can share that with anybody, and they have it, and they can go ahead and click on that link, and they'll be taken to this specific document. Right now, they can only view it because I didn't give them edit access. So that's one way to share, that is to get the URL and email it to people or whatever you want to do. Another way is down here to the add people. Click in here and you can start adding names. So we saw Sally Collins on the other one, so I'll put Sally Collins and there's her email. Then maybe I'm going to also share it with Jim Calhoun. Let me go back, he's James, so Calhoun. And right now it's defaulted to can edit. I could change that to can view. Let's say I want them to contribute and edit, so I put it there. And then on the very bottom of this, it says send a copy to myself, paste the item. Or right here, it says send an email notification. If I don't uncheck that, then what will happen is Sally and Jim will get an email from me or from Google that says that Ryan McClintock has shared this document. Click here to access it. It's a nice thing to do, and you can include a message here, test for screencast. And then you click share. If you don't want them to get the email, then you just uncheck that. Okay. So if I hit share right now, it's going to say basically good. You can see they can both edit it. And what happened is an email went out to both of them that said, hey, Ryan shared this with you, and I can close. And so they now have access to it. Another way to do it is to actually open the document, and then within it, on the upper right hand corner, it says share, and then click down and then share, and then you're going to see the same exact screen that we just saw. So you can share from within the document or from the document list right here. Those are two ways to share. Okay. So I want to go to this modeling document here because this one's a real document that I need to share with somebody. So I'm actually going to open it up. Takes a second here to open. At the very top right now it says private only to me. And I'm going to go ahead to the share box here. Remember, you could do this from the list too. Click on share. And I'm going to share this with Jonathan Bjork. And I do want him to edit it, be able to edit it. And I'm going to go ahead and keep this checked. That way he'll just get an email saying, hey, this has been shared with you. Now, when this email goes to him, he has access now. As long as he saves the email, he can click there and get it. Or it'll then show up in his list. See, now you can edit it. It'll show up in his list of his Google Docs right here. So just like I have these, this modeling doc will now appear in his. He can click on it and he can edit it because I gave him edit access. If I would have just given him view access, then he could just look at it but not actually add to it. So sharing a Google document is pretty powerful for collaboration. Again, I go back to this particular document here. And how to do it, there's different ways. You just have to get to the share screen either from the docs or from the actual document itself in the upper right hand corner. Then you just explore a little bit, and basically all you're doing is you're sharing the URL for that specific document that you made. Once you have that URL, you can also cut and paste that URL into websites and link to it and do all kinds of things, because the idea of saving it in the cloud means you now have access to it from any internet-based computer application. Okay, so how to share a Google document. Thank you.